Morning, everybody. We just got dropped off the trailhead, back on trail, obviously. Leaving Front Royal cleaned up, well fed, clothes washed, and headed towards the trail. Headed towards our destination. Kind of got confused there because there's white blazes on the right, and I can see a white blaze on the tree, or excuse me, on a pole in front of me, but this appears to be the right way. So the plan for today is 17.3 miles today. And we're headed to a shelter. Kind of learned my lesson about the last shelter, so we'll probably put a tent out because the weather's supposed to be pretty good this evening anyway. So should be fine. And possibly avoid the crowds in the shelter. So that's the plan. I'm climbing a hill, so we'll cut it off from here and we'll catch up with you up the path. Have a great day. All right, good morning again. It's we're about 1 hour into the hike, or a couple of miles into the hike, 2 miles. And trail is finally smoothed out. We did a good bit of climbing, as you typically do, up and out of the gap, but it seems like it's leveled off now, and everything's just greening up, you know. Flowers are blooming all along the trail. It's real pretty. It's almost like walking to a park. But yeah, as I stated earlier, it's going to be yet another kind of longish day. Not as long as we've been doing the last couple of days, which is welcomed. But I think it's 17.3 or something like that to a shelter. And then the question always comes, is it we're going to stay in the shelter or going to stay in a tent? I think I've answered that question for me anyway. I think as long as the weather's good, I prefer to stay in a tent. But if the weather's fine, or if it's raining and the other variables, there's simply nobody else there, then I've been known to stay in the shelter, you know, particularly if there's no indication that there's a lot of mice or anything. But for a day like today, where it's nothing but blue skies, no rain in the forecast, and not really certain of how many people might show up late and want to stay at the shelter, I think I'll just go ahead and get my tent set up and get relaxed. So that's my plan anyway. Until then, I'm just going to keep moving my feet. It's basically like going to the job, you know. You got 8 hours and 2 miles an hour. You can be done with this hike and be ready for supper and rest and repeat. That's how it works. So anyway, all right, so we're just gonna keep on pushing on down on the path, and if we see anything interesting, then certainly I'll film it. I don't know if we're gonna have any views today. Honestly, it's relatively low ground, so unless we get some height, I'm not sure what we can anticipate getting. But if I do find anything, certainly I'll share it. So I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk further down the path. We're about 7 miles now from the shelter, making solid progress. But we've had some good uphills, and it's gotten warm. Sun's up, no clouds, and not a lot of cover. But hiking through a patch of I don't know what it is, but it smells good. Y'all tell me. Kind of smells like lilac. I don't know if I've ever seen lilac, but it smells really good through here. Everything seems to be blooming in abundance, providing kind of a mixture of different flowery smells. Pretty cool. So yeah, so we've got again 7.2 miles, which means 3.5 miles, 3.5 hours, I'm sorry, to our destination. So yeah, it'd be great to sit down early and get some food going and relax. After all these big miles, day after day after day, they all kind of begin to add up to the point that I can't keep up with my partner. He's pumping through here, and he's probably, I don't know, less than 100 yards ahead of me, but it seems like every step I'm falling a step behind. So anyway, I guess I better hunker down and see if I can catch up with him real quickly before I lose him altogether. All right, hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you down the path. All right, everybody, kind of got a open area here. You can see it back and forth. Almost looks like there should be power lines here, but my guess is there's probably underground gas lines through here. Often, you know, not really much of a view, but long range. But we're now within, it's a Virginia State Park. I think it's called Meadows, something Meadows State Park, you know. And there are some rules here in the state park where you have to, if you are going to camp, you got to be camping around the shelters, which is that was our plan to begin with, really. So no big deal, but it's really nice and really well maintained. The last picture you guys saw was of the signage that is provided on the pole for people who come through the park, which is exceptional. I've never seen anything so good. Which I wish they had a single format that would be adopted, you know, across all miles. You know, seems like every state's a little bit different, but this here inside this Virginia State Park is really good. So we got some nice flat ground. I'm sure we're gonna make some pretty quick miles, and we'll be at the shelter here in just a couple hours. But hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It's a great day to hike, that's for sure. And we will look forward to catching you down the trail. Look at all the knots on this tree, y'all. It's crazy. All right, everybody, we have made it to the Rod Hollow shelter, and we've just put up our tents. Definitely a good choice not to be in this shelter. I doubt there'll be many people interested in staying in the shelter tonight, because it's covered up with carpenter bees. I don't know if you can see them. Carpenter bees, essentially like a bumblebee, and they're just eating this bad boy up. They're flying everywhere. I'm sure after things settle down after dark, it probably wouldn't be a big problem, but it's just annoying. They're just so buzzy. They're all over this side. There we go. And they are eating this shelter up. But got a little gazebo kind of thing over here for us to cook on, and there's still some bees activity down here, but it's not nearly as bad. And over here is our tent setups. They use these pads to kind of control the number of tents that we'll set up in this area. So look at that beautiful spot. Primo spot that he's got. He did a good job. Mine's not so good. Both of our tents are, what do you call these tents? Tension tents. So this is the problem with this tent, is that, you know, you got two poles that hold it up in the middle, and then you just pull it off to the sides. Makes it lighter because you don't have to carry, you know, suspension poles. But my suspension tent that I basically left back home and traded this one out for, you don't have a problem, you know. So if you have really hard ground like we have here, doesn't matter, it'll set up perfectly. The problem with this type of tent is it's absolutely 100% dependent on your ability to get these stakes to stick in the ground. And if the ground is too hard or it's very rocky, then you're not going to have a tent set up whatsoever. So there is a limitation with these tents, in my opinion. And for that reason, I think a little extra weight with a suspension pole tent is worth it. So I'm going to ask my wife, who I'm going to meet here in a few weeks, to bring my old tent back to me, and I'm going to trade this bad boy out. So that's my plan. So all in all, a good day. Made it to the shelter as planned, and so far we have a place to ourselves. So and I don't think anybody's going to want to stay in the shelter, and there's not going to be a lot of tent sites left for them to stay up here. So should be kind of quiet this evening. So I hope everybody's had a really good day. We're going to get down here and do some cooking and get some food and kind of settle in a bit. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you first thing in the morning.